coming back to NJ today as our guest of honor?
Well, it's really good to be back in National Junior College. It's been 23 years, I think, since I was last year. 1992, 93 I was here. It's good. Always had good memories of National Junior College. I think National Junior College has a unique distinction of bringing together students from different schools, and you start on a level playing field. You know, it's like you get to know new people, which is great, and then you start to do things that you like to do, unencumbered by the baggage of a school which if you were affiliated to, you'd be pressured to do something that you previously had done. So it gave me a chance to try new things as well, meet new friends.
Some of the most memorable moments you've had in NJ?
Well, I was in the student council. I guess the friends, many of us are still friends today, especially those who are in the 25th Student Council. It gave me the ability to balance both academics and also what I wanted to do. I had wanted to be in student council. I did that. Did canoeing. Had a thing for environmental causes, so I joined the Green Link. But it allowed me to, like I said, because everybody comes here and you are starting again in a way. You meet new people who have different passions, and I even joined Dikir Barat when I was here. So we had that back then. It allowed me to also go and join a group, learn to speak the Malay as well. Yeah, so it was good. It's good. It was memorable all around for the friends that I had, for the things that I was able to try anew.
So how has your time in NJ shaped who you are today?
Well, NJ gave me the opportunity to further my interest in, I guess, leadership in the 25th Student Council. You see, the difference between secondary school and junior college at that time was you actually run for it. Right? You run for it, but in running for it, I think you work harder for it, you want it even more, and you treasure it even more. And the style of leadership in a junior college, I guess you answer to the student body a lot more than in secondary school back then, in which if you're a prefect, you basically do other forms of duties. So from NJ, I learned further honed the ability to empathize with students, that in the crafting of policies or in the way you make decisions, you always have the student body at the heart of what you do. And that further reinforced my belief that in all things you shouldn't do for self, but you should do it for the good of others, the good of the community. And I think that also further reinforced my belief when I joined the Singapore Armed Forces later on. The Army and the SCF it's an organization that recognizes teams. You know, if you look after yourself and yourself only, I think you won't succeed as well if you have the welfare of your team at heart. Because when you do a mission and when you accomplish good things in the Army, you accomplish it as a team, as a battalion, as a unit. So slowly and steadily, I believe that in NJ, I further my belief that in all that I do, I should serve the greater good of others, and that the team comes before the self.
After graduating from NJC, why did you decide to take up the SAF Overseas Scholarship?
Yeah. I'd always had an interest in I've always been quite a people person. You know, I liked, always enjoyed since young being amongst people, engaging people, talking to them, finding ways to approach a challenge or a problem. Again, hopefully the team and the group is very engaged and has a good experience throughout their whole journey. And like I said before, the team comes for the self. So that has geared how I've behaved and what I believed throughout the years. Why did I join the SAF? It was just to further that belief, because the SAF works, and the army especially, which I joined, it's primarily team-based, and you get to work with people from different sections of society. I remember when I was commander in the infantry, you get a soldier who's only completed primary 6 with a returning grad who's just disrupted for his studies, and he's a degree holder, and you come back and you got to melt and you got to mold this whole group as an effective team into effective teams. I think that's extremely challenging, and it's a microcosm of Singapore society. I think this ability to form consensus around people who started from different places and had different ideas to begin with, and yet to move them in a certain direction and purpose, I think is extremely challenging. I had a very good mentor when I was an officer cadet who inspired me to want to do this for a career. Okay, because he led by example. He treated us with great dignity when we were cadets, and he forged in us a great team spirit. I thought I could do this as well. And I believe that in Singapore today, even back then and today, even as society matures, people have different ideas of what life should be, but yet it's important to be a part of this discourse and to try and forge a certain direction with young people today. It's true back then, it's true now. And I hope that I can play a part in forging a strong community defense and purpose in the young people.
We read that you studied at the London School of Economics.
Yeah.
So how has choosing to study economics at the LSE helped you in your military career?
Economics is a social science. It's, I guess, the greatest part of it, the most relevant part of economics that has informed me would be this thing of trade-offs. This thing of trade-offs. Back then we did Pareto optimality and all these concepts on how trade-offs need to be made, and tough decisions today, even in my current job, trade-offs are part and parcel of my job. We have limited resources. So being able to portion the limited resources amongst the things that we are constantly asked to do and have to do. Some things you have to remove from your plate, some things you have to add to your plate, but in this cost-benefit analysis, how do you make those decisions? I think as my time in LSE is principally all about cost-benefit. As an economist, I think that probably helped me in the way I frame certain thoughts and ideas and the way I make certain decisions, which involve trade-offs.
As the chief of the Singapore Army, what do you do in a typical day of work?
What don't I do? Typical, I don't know what is a typical day of work. Some days are full of meetings. Some days you got to go out there to the units to understand the ground and to see what they do and to try to see whether you need to change certain things that you're doing in order to make their lives better. In a typical day, I guess some days I do PT with them to show that physical training is important. On some days we go through exercises to sharpen our war-fighting fundamentals. I guess there isn't a typical day. And that's the beauty of the job, I guess. Some days I'm behind the desk, some days I'm not behind the desk, some days I'm in some far-flung field. Some days I'm engaging the Indonesians and the Malaysians on defense issues. Some days I'm engaging the Lance Corporal Tan on the ground on issues that matter to him, which relate to his welfare and how to make his life better. So I guess there isn't a typical day in the army, but army is very big. There's always something to do. Okay, so I guess that would be,
What are some of the most memorable moments you have had throughout the course of your career?
There'd be many. I guess what comes to mind immediately now, in the short time that I have, was organizing the Golden Jubilee National Day celebrations last year. I think that was a long process in the making, but it allowed me to contribute to an occasion that mattered to a lot of Singaporeans. And I think the beauty of that was that I saw a lot of Singaporeans come together to want to celebrate and want to contribute to the event. I think we had about 16,000 people who were involved in setting up of the event, from soldiers to people off the streets, from People Association to SOCA, to the police who managed the crowd control operations together with us around the bay on that day, to those who put the planes in the air, and those who set up the floating platform as another site. Just to see different people coming together to want to produce a great event for Singapore at 50, it was my blessing to be a part of it. There were also to witness a lot of pioneers who wanted to be involved. I have this guy called Captain Retired Shamsuddin. This I will take with me always. Shamsuddin is about, I think, over 80 years old. We had this pioneer contingent that marched down St. Andrew's Road in front of the National Gallery last year because we wanted to create the scenes of 1966. And they were 80, 70 years old. It was very hot. And they came for rehearsals 3 months before the day prior. They would come every Saturday. So one Saturday I told Captain Shamsuddin, I said, "Pak, don't need to march down St. Andrew's Road, all of you just swing your hands normally, swing your arms normally, just walk." Okay. And this 80-over-year-old gentleman, he was our first army sergeant major back when. He looked at me and struck the fear of God in my eyes. And then he told me, "Pak Ong, Melvyn, we will march. We will march because we want to show the people that we are old, but we can still do it." Then every week at Suntec City, I would hold them up at Suntec City Convention Center. Everybody be there, young people, pioneers, and those like Shamsuddin would share their lives with people from school, students, middle age, and they still believe that they can contribute to society even at the age of 80 and so on and so forth. And that inspires me to want to do what I do. And hopefully we can all be like Captain Shamsuddin at some point.
Do you have any advice for current NJCians looking to pursue a military career?
Well, firstly, it's not for everybody. You've got to have a sense of purpose in believing that defense is a necessary part of Singapore's survival. You've got to believe in that. National service is important. You've got to believe that in all this you have a part to play and that you want to further it. You've got to have this sense of purpose in mind. You've got to want to affect the lives of your soldiers positively. You've got to want to be able to be a leader and to lead some who may not even want to follow you. So you've got to have that sense of purpose. Life won't be easy in leading of those who are placed under you. But if you believe in the higher purpose of why defense is important, why national service is important, and why the business of leading people towards this is important, then it is the right thing.